you beautiful passengers. Welcome back to the back of the semi-truck. And you can tell from the thumbnail, you can tell from the title, RWBY Volume 9 Beyond Episode 2. And this one is called A Knight's Journal. So, sometimes I think I'm thinking logically and I'm wrong, but this time I think I'm probably going to be right. And we're going to get some of the journal entries from when Jean was over there in the Ever After. I don't know. But I do have something that is confusing me. And that is the screenshot right there that I'm starting with. We are starting in Vacuo, it looks like. So, I don't know exactly how we're going to go about this. What I'm hoping is we kind of get something to do with the paper pleasers and all that good stuff. So, and on top of everything else, this one is like a 5.5 minute long one. So, we're getting a little bit more details, and I like that. So, yeah. I don't know what else to say other than let's go ahead and put these earbuds in. They're in. 3, 2, 1, and play. Okay.
This is the very first entry in what I guess is about to become my journal. Just feels like something you do when you want to keep your daily life in perspective. And now that I've been young and old and young again, it's not always easy to keep things in perspective.
So we're not getting a journal from the perspective of when he was in the Ever After.
Lost it for a little bit there.
But looks like we're getting it from
being back with my team helps.
Where he is now.
Things aren't the same.
Okay.
Bryn and Nora have their own thing they're working through, and I'm not the same boy they knew.
No, you aren't.
Rusted Knight. Nora loves reminding people of that, by the way. They usually just look at her like it's some kind of inside joke they're not a part of. These days, I'd rather forget.
Yeah, it's not a joke.
I guess I was the Rusted Knight, but...
Yeah, you are...
The Rusted Knight wasn't really me.
Part of history.
Who is
part of
Jean
lore?
Now?
Part of fairy tales? Oh.
Lately, I've been spending more time with the person I thought might relate most.
Oscar.
And how is that journal going?
I haven't quite started yet. Soon, though.
It'll help.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't feel like anything will. Don't get me wrong, I'm not unhappy to be back. I just
It's interesting. This is a very interesting concept.
Like I've left the world by and it's done the same.
I would have thought that the journal would have been from his time in the Ever After.
I've been the subject of a couple of fairy tales myself.
You mean Osmond has, right?
Of course. If you're not sure where to start, I do have a suggestion.
Yeah, they did say in the last episode that the merge
Think about
was
the
getting
good times.
stronger.
What little they might have been that you spent in the Ever After.
Just focus on the positive.
No, not like that. It might be able to help you remember what it was all for. And rewrite the story in your own way.
Well,
the good times.
He was the Rusted Knight in order to
I remember Alex and Lewis.
There waiting on
those early days of getting to know each other were magical. It's like I was living someone else's life. For me, the secret that I knew a little of what was happening to all of us was exciting. Lewis was a puzzle, since he wasn't part of the story I knew, but he figured out really quickly that I knew more than I was letting on. We compared notes on Remnant. Oh, they couldn't believe I was from the faraway future. I couldn't believe they were from Vacuo. Back before the war. Before Huntsman. I remember the first time we tried to shop at the Garden Acre. They didn't have days of the week, so they invented one. Splatter Day, just for us humans. You know, for a while, they ended up having Splatter Day every day because they didn't understand. But every Splatter Day, there was a farmer's market. Only instead of buying produce, you bought farmers who would grow it for you for a little bit.
That's
roast things by the fire every night. But it was those campfires I remember most. Lewis writing everything down in his journal. The story he'd one day tell to help lead my friends to me. and in those early days...
yes.
Every night around the campfire...
That does make sense for it to be him that wrote the books.
My story...
Considering the name.
My adventures... Oh, they always seemed so amazed. Which was weird, because it was just my life. The mistakes I'd made. And the times I'd gotten lucky. It was like having my team back.
You did get lucky
People around you who make you feel more than you are. Or maybe they see you in a way you can't see yourself. It's the same kind of warmth that a good fire brings.
I was just about to ask, are we going to get Peter in the middle?
I see those campfires all across Vacuo at night, and I wonder what people are sharing, what they're building, the hope they're stoking, and what they'll be saying when this is all over.
Sean, it's kind of feeling a little bit of a downer here, but
I guess maybe there's something to this after all.
Perspective.
Yeah. Do you think we're gonna make it?
Around that campfire.
Oh, really? This is your answer, huh?
No. No, I guess it didn't.
Okay. So it ain't quite 5.5 minutes. It's actually just pretty much 5 minutes. But, interesting. Not what I was expecting, but interesting nonetheless. I do want to know more about Jean now that he is back from the Ever After. Come to think about it, I would like to know more of his mind frame now than to see his daily routine in the Ever After once he got... Because we all seen that big old list that he had for everything that has to happen with the paper pleasers just to keep them safe. So, I wanted to see... I wouldn't mind seeing like a Chibi style type of thing for that specific day where he has to run around like he's a chicken with his head cut off. Sorry for the imagery, but it's just an old phrase from when I was growing up. I don't know how much it's used nowadays, but it is what it is. But as much as I would like to see something along that lines of his day of trying to keep all the, paper pleasers all safe and sound and good to go and this and that, I know that would only work in the Chibi style. And granted, it could work in this style, but only if it's played off as a jokey joke. But no, this was actually something way better than I thought it was going to be. Because I want to know the struggles that he's having. Like at the beginning here, he's talking about how he fell down as a young man, became an old man, and is now a young man once again, living life all over again. None of us can relate to that. So it's an interesting concept that I wouldn't mind knowing more about from his perspective here. And he can't relate to anybody no more except for Oscar/Ozpin. As much as we don't want it to happen, we want our boy Oscar to stay at the forefront of everything. It feels like he's not the Oscar that we knew from being the farm boy and whatnot like that. In this little series of stuff, he feels like he's taking on a lot more of the characteristics of Ozpin. And as much as I don't want to say that he's merging with Ozpin, I feel like he's more growing up into his own person. And the person who Ozpin was and is is going further and further back and more dormant within Oscar. And that's not how it works, I know, but it kind of, I want to believe that. I don't want to believe that Ozpin's going to be right there and kind of taking over halfway, and Oscar's going to be halfway in between, and they're just going to combine and make this one person. But I don't know, maybe it is. But I still love what we get here. It's Jean being the new man that he is. And I like that. So, yeah. I don't know what else to say. So, pass it off to y'all. Y'all know the drill. Hit the like, tickle to subscribe. Don't be texting and driving. And as Mr. Rogers always said,
and I like you as you are, I do.